Can you feel it? It's time. It's time for every one of us. If we get knocked down, we won't just get up. It's time we all rise up. Rise up. When stars step up. When a dome stands up. When a city lights up. We all rise up together. Touchdown! When we come on the field, we rise up. Rise up. From kickoff to the last play, we rise up. This is our time, Atlanta. We've been knocking on the door. Now it's time to order. Tell me, what do Falcons do? Rise up. What do Falcons do? Falcons rise up. That's what I'm talking about.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of All In with Nate. We are recapping the game from yesterday. The Atlanta Falcons had a dominant win against the New York Giants, 34-7, to improve to 8-7. There's a couple of positive notes about the game. Number one, the Falcons have finally won more than 7 games. We haven't won more than 7 games since the 2017 season when we last made the playoffs. So that's one positive thing. Second thing of note, it was a good win. The Giants are not a good football team. Let's get that out of the way. They're not a good football team. You don't really expect much out of them. These guys they're getting ready for Shador. They're right now the number 1 pick in the draft. But those are the type of ball games that you have to win, and they got it done. You beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, plain and simple. And the Falcons had a dominant day at the office. It was better than the game on Monday Night Football. That game on Monday Night Football was pathetic. So this was a much better game by the Atlanta Falcons, and it was a great way to end what's been a really wild week in Falcon country, because you go from the Monday night game where you got Kirk Cousins struggling. You find out Tuesday that he's been benched for Michael Penix Jr. You now transition to the rookie finally. And then, of course, you're hearing all the news about Kirk is going to get released after the season. He's considering retiring after the season. Like, it's so much has been going on in Falcon country this week that getting out there on the field and winning that ball game in a dominant fashion they did was right with the doctor order for the Falcons. They needed that. And now, again, you now have 2 games remaining, and then you had some help last night, and we're going to discuss later on, because I want to just stick to the game first before we go into the other news that happened overnight with the Dallas and Buccaneer game. But as far as the game, Michael Penix Jr. was a solid outing. No, he didn't throw a touchdown pass. Unfortunately, he has an interception on record because of Kyle Pitts. Who we will discuss him too. But great game for the rookie. He threw some throws on the money, especially on third down. He had a couple of third downs, and I'm going to go over his tape before as we discuss the game and show some of his, in particular, good plays of the game, because the NFL put out a video of his first start, so I would love to go ahead and put that up here too. But I like what I seen out of the kid. It was the New York Giants. But, the guy, he was not looking like a player who was a rookie. He has his moments now. Don't get me wrong. Like the first 2 drives, I would say he was a little shaky. I know there was a sack. I don't know if they're going to did they count it as a sack or not? I'll find out when we get to the stats. But he was a little shaky on the one particular play. He knew he could take off for the first, but then he got tripped in the last second. So that ended that drive. And then he was a little shaky early at the start. But even with the wide receivers, outside of the Kyle Pitts thing that I'm going to mention in a little while, Drake had a bad drop. Mooney had a bad, I think it was Rivera McLeod that had a bad drop. The first throw of the game he made to him. But again, that's just a chemistry thing. They're going to get chemistry with this young man. He really seems like he's poised to be special in Atlanta. And again, it was the Giants, but the Falcons were smart with how they did it. You brought him in against one of the lesser teams in the league. And I'm going to be wrong, he got a big game coming up on this upcoming Sunday. But again, That's the way that you start off for your rookie quarterback. And then the team played well. The defense played really well. Outside of the Minnesota debacle at Minnesota, this defense has been so much better after the bye week. I mean, let's be brutally honest. Arnold Ebiketie has stepped up to the plate and given us a lot over the last couple of weeks. So has Zach Harrison. They figured something out. Even Matthew Judon finally showed up to the game today. Of course, you'll see one of his highlights in the game. Jesse Bates was Jesse Bates as normal. I mean, this defense, I think that they still got a couple of things they got to really, really tool this offseason. But I think they're buying more into the Jimmy Lake scheme. Now, Zach Robinson, yes, we put up 34 today. 14 came from the defense, but I think we need to see a little more on offense with this Atlanta Falcon offense. I don't know if they were a little limited today because of it being Michael Penix's first start, but I mean, you got to get this man loose because he's going to have to eventually come out and throw that ball if it's a tight game. Next week could be a tight game with the Commanders, so you got to eventually cut him loose. So, again, all in all, dominant win at the office. I don't know the last time we had a just straight up relaxed victory because we've been in so many close games. So it felt good to finally be able to just kick back and watch the Falcons in the late third, early fourth, and not feel stressed out. Sitting in my seats in the game, I was not stressed after the Falcons went up 24-7. So again, good win for the Falcons. Good win for the Falcons. You beat, and by the way, let me put it out there for the haters. You beat who you're supposed to beat. Straight up. That's the reality of the situation for the Falcons. You cannot help what's on your schedule. You just gotta go out there and win. I said when I did my stream 2 weeks ago after the Vikings lost, that they had to win these next two games to get themselves any shot at the postseason or any shot at the winning record, and they did it. So now you got 2 games left. And let's see what happens the rest of the way. But before we continue talking about this, let's go to the highlights from yesterday. Let me go onto the screen and let's get started. So this is on the first drive. I like this throw to Drake London on that first drive. I thought that was a really good throw. Staying in that pocket on third down. This is another good throw to Darnell Mooney. I like the fact that when he come out that pocket, he's putting zip on the throws. And this essentially changed the ball game right here. That pick six was huge for Jesse Bates. That was huge for Jesse Bates. And I think that sparked the life in the entire team. And Jesse Bates is so amazing, y'all. I don't know. A lot of times I just watch him and watch the way that he reads the field. Because he should have had an interception on him on their drive they actually scored a touchdown on. But he made it up by getting a big pick six. And if you had them in fantasy football, y'all had a great day. And right here is Arnold Ebiketie with a sack. Ebiketie has really been good the last couple of weeks, and I hope the Falcons continue to feed him more out there. This was another good play I like right here because I actually thought they were going to take the underneath, but they ended up twinning the ball at the seams to Darnell Mooney. Another third down play for the Falcons right here. And this was a great throw and stride to Darnell Mooney. Like I said, he's had a couple of big throws on third down.
7 of 13 for 86 yards in his starting
debut. It's a touchdown to Bijan. It is. And Bijan, oh my God, guys. Bijan is so special. And I'm going to talk about him a bit once we come off of these highlights. He's so special. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. He's so special. And this was another big play of the game. Caden Ellis, who's also really stepped up for the Falcons, got a strip sack, and the Falcons forced another turnover. Unfortunately, this was that Kyle Pitts I'm talking about. They may show a couple plays on that drive. Yeah, they are. This is another good third down conversion by Michael Penix. He was really solid on third down in this game.
Second down and 7.
I think this might be the pick six. This was the funniest pick six.
Looking, ball deflected and
It
intercepted.
was, oh man. In this days, what was Judon doing, man? I still want to know what did he plan that? Did he plan that if he said he ever scored a touchdown? Like, cause I don't know what that man had going on right here. But this was a good play by Zach Harrison too.
This is poor technique by Evan Neal. And then Chris Hubbard, I mean, you were beat immediately.
Yeah, this was funny. Like, this right here was really the end of the game once this play happened.
By Matthew Judon. Zach Harrison does a great job, but
and see, of course, he had nobody really running with him, so he could celebrate that right there. But back to the offensive side of the ball. Is this a Bijan? Listen, this guy here is so special. I don't know how he made some of the reads that he made once he get the ball, because some of those plays be busted, and he just still makes something out of nothing. Yeah, this was another good throw. This was a good play right here. Drake London made a great play on this right here on 2nd and 11. So, and I like Drake. Drake just really starting to come on more and more. Man, this was a great run by Tyler Algier, and I hope that we eventually figure out how to use both of these guys in this offense. It irks me that we don't use them both enough. That this was a great throw. I just knew Bijan was going to score right here on that play. He scored on this drive, but I wanted him to get that passing touchdown for Michael Penix, man. And of course, he just had a nice little cut, just walked in the end zone like it was nothing. Great, just a great all-out performance for the guy. You gotta love Bijan, man. You gotta love Bijan.
You're going to send Ray McLeod in motion now. Deontay Banks, he tells Jason.
Like, that was just an easy cut. Like, he just made one cut and just walked to the end zone. That was amazing.
Stay tough, keep working, stay at it, and know that this too shall pass. There hasn't been a person this week, or honestly throughout his whole career, that doesn't praise his professional.
This was another good throw. This was to Christian Blair. You may not be familiar with him, Falcon fans. He was on the practice squad. And Judon finally got a sack. He finally got a sack, guys. He finally got a sack. And that was good for him, for sure. But that was the highlights of the game for the Falcons. Like I said, it was a dominant game by the Falcons. From start to finish, they did what they needed to do against a lesser opponent. And those are the type of games that you want to win. Like I said, the Falcons defense is starting to gain some confidence over the last couple of weeks. That's something that I like to see from this unit. Because once again, the Falcons, that's been an up and down theme for the Falcons. They finally start getting sacks on the quarterback. Like, they're still really far behind the rest of the league as far as their sack total. But since the bye week, you've seen the progression in Jimmy Lake's scheme. I think once they really get the offseason in and get some players in there, I think that scheme could really be a good scheme for the Falcons. But again, good game by the Atlanta Falcons overall. I don't have too many complaints. It's hard to complain you're win by 27. So, good one for the Falcons. I want to see, by the way, Kyle Pitts. I said I was going to talk about the Kyle Pitts play. I'm going to bring it up, matter of fact. Let me pull that particular Kyle Pitts play up while I'm talking to you guys. But I think the Kyle Pitts days are done in Atlanta. I'm just going to be real. I think he's done in Atlanta. I know he has a 5th-year option, but I don't think this regime is going to deal with Kyle Pitts. I just don't. But, I mean, that remains to be seen. But let me bring this play up real quick while I'm talking. You've seen me talking about it a lot. So let me just hold on. Let me go full screen. And here we go. I want to talk about this play. This is the play right here that got Falcon fans up in arms today still. Because you have to address this issue. This is how Michael Penix got his interception. Instead of securing the ball, he lets the ball go. Like, what are you doing, Kyle Pitts? What are you doing at this point? When you actually get targeted, because this is points that the Falcons could have had.
Kyle Pitts is going to be right here.
This is points. Look at this.
Job by Cordell Flott coming off that. Yeah, it's a bobble, pops that ball right back up into the air, and you're coming off your guy in coverage and moving towards the play. That's the way that turnovers happen. And this is Kyle Pitts. He's just got to finish that.
That was terrible.
It's going to be enough for a first down.
That was terrible.
Get the chain.
It's really no defense of what happened on that play. You did not secure the ball. We all have been taught. There's a lot of fans in this fan base that still wants to go quarterback. Stop it. Let's stop this right here and right now. This guy was drafted number 4 overall by the Atlanta Falcons 4 seasons ago. He has not been the productive wide receiver. Excuse me, I said wide receiver because I don't know that he might need to switch to that. Who knows? But he has not been the productive tight end that you wanted at pick number 4. And I think a part of it has been the fact that Kyle Pitts, I think he's never been the same since his injury. I do think that for certain. I think that's been one of the problems in his situation. But let's just be honest. Kyle Pitts has consistently gotten worse in his time over the Falcons, in the Falcon uniform. In the last few weeks, Kyle Pitts have had 3 targets at Denver, 2 against the Chargers, 6 against the Vikings that he only caught 1, 4 against the Raiders. He caught all 4 last week, and then 2 today, including that goofy play that he had. The Falcons are losing trust in Kyle Pitts. Let's be real. It's not just a Kirk Cousins thing. You can keep screaming Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is not the quarterback no more. Michael Penix has no connection to none of these current Falcon players. The guy's still dropping passes. When is enough enough? And again, Kyle Pitts is going to be making, if I'm not mistaken, $11 million next season. I'm going to confirm that in a second, but I think he's going to be making close to $11 million next season. To give us nothing, to give us absolutely nothing. He's going to make $10 million in 2025. That's going to be his 5th-year option. It's no purpose to the Atlanta Falcons to keep dealing with that. He may still be here next year, consider he got the 5th-year option. But let's just be honest. It's getting to a point where he has no room on this team. Because what do you really do well? Charlie Warner's our blocking tight end. And again, I'm not loyal to a player. Nate is loyal to the logo. So the best 53 on the roster needs to hit the field. The best 22 need to start. If you can't produce for the Atlanta Falcons like you need to produce, you need to go. I've been saying I'm done with Kyle Pitts for weeks. I've seen a lot of folks on my social media feel the same exact way. It's time to stop making excuses for Kyle Pitts. If he don't give us anything these last 2 weeks, which I don't have high expectations for him to do anything, who cares? Even if it's Penix. I don't care if Michael Penix is in. Unless he shows some magical turnaround in the next 3 weeks, I think he's going to be done as an Atlanta Falcon also. Straight up. I think that's going to be the reality of the situation for Kyle Pitts. But again, how much defense can you make for him? And please do not use, he got to have a quarterback. Think about how many players in the National Football League with lesser quarterbacks right now that's having a great season. For one, y'all know I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. You see the banners up there on the back. Look at Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers just went over 1,000 yards as a rookie. So did Kyle Pitts. However, Kyle Pitts had a potential future Hall of Fame in the latter years of his career by the name of Matt Ryan throwing him the ball. You want to know who's throwing the ball for Brock Bowers? Aiden Connell, Garner Minshew, and Desmond Ridder. Stop making excuses for this dude. If you are that guy, you're gonna get the ball. That's the reality of the situation. I do think that his injury affected him long term, to this point now. I don't know if he's as confident in himself as a tight end. His effort shows it. His effort's pathetic. But I'm ready to move on from the Kyle Pitts era as soon as they can possibly do it. It's time to go ahead and chop that up as a Falcon bust. I'm sorry. Plain and simple. You got to show me something different. This ain't a first season thing because let's be real. Look at Drake London. Look at Darnell Mooney, who got signed off in free agency, brought to the Atlanta Falcons, on the verge of 1,000 yards receiving. Ray McLeod has made plays in this offense. Stop making excuses for Kyle Pitts. He's not had a good game since the Buccaneer game in October. It's December the 23rd. Simple. That's all I have to say about Kyle Pitts at this point. I'm good on Kyle Pitts. Y'all can still support him. I'm not. He make a play, touchdown. Good. Appreciate you. Other than that, get him out of here. Done with him. But let me move on to the Michael Penix plays that the NFL posted earlier. And I want to share that on here. Let me go full screen and let's get started. Let's go down with the NFL gave us for the Michael Penix best starts.
And here it comes. Penix with a clean pocket, fires and finds Drake London.
Of course, I showed this play early on. It was on the first drive. That was a great read by Michael Penix Jr.
In that pocket with everything collapsing around him. Watch the location.
Because see, that ball's coming out. He got pressure in his face, but that ball's coming out.
Is his location. It was something he talked about. I know that
he's seen the field. He's throwing it when he needs to throw it.
McLeod in motion. The swing to McLeod.
I like the screenplay that they called to Ray McLeod. He had to make up because he had dropped the ball the first time Michael Penix threw a pass in the game.
To the air. There's
and right here, I like the fact that he was trying to get Drake London involved. By the way, Riley Patterson missed the field goal on that drive too. Love the fact he already looked at the field. He got Darnell Mooney open. He's getting the ball out when you need him to get the ball out. Another third down blitz coming, and he gets the ball to Drake London. I love the fact he's 1-2, get that ball out. 1-2, as you see the receiver, he go ahead and get the ball out right there.
Right, he's going through the set up, and then he's
because again they're coming, as you see, they're almost there.
And you can see
on that play.
That's huge.
On first down, off the play, fake Penix. Fake throw.
I love this play right here to Darnell Mooney. And I like the fact they're getting him on rollouts. And you got to do that. You got to dial some things up for him to throw the ball on.
Five-man pressure, Penix throws.
And I love this play call to Darnell Mooney. I love the fact they sent him underneath and that he's read it in time, got the ball to him. That set up the Bijan Robinson touchdown. Once again, this drive was so unfortunate because of Kyle Pitts, because he actually made some good throws on third down in this game.
Darnell Mooney's been the favorite target in this first half for Penix, already 4 catches.
Okay, this is a great London play. I like the fact the ball coming out. Drake gonna make a move regardless. I love the fact of what Drake brings to this table on this team at this point now.
Penix looking over the middle.
Like this throw right here to Drake London.
Dancing around into the secondary and into Giants territory to the 41-yard line. Pick up a 15.
As you see, you talking that trash because of course they got the hooking after that pick too. By the way, here goes Tyler Algier on that one play right here. I remember this play right here that got. Let's see, third down and 6. I so wish that this would have been a touchdown pass for Bijan. Oh my goodness.
You know, you've got him in here, but what you're doing is you're forcing him to cover Bijan Robinson out that way.
And I like the fact they had immediately called that route. And of course, Bijan's going to do what Bijan does best. And look at that pressure that was coming.
Immediately because you got to navigate yourself through all that traffic.
And that is, if we come off of this screen, ignore my Okay, let me get off here. Ignore my recommended stuff. But again, I like what I saw. Maybe something that I could have seen him improve on early. Like I said, the early portion of the game, he had a couple of. One time he tried to take off running on third down, but he thought about it too late. He was just hesitant. But again, that's a rookie. You're a rookie in your first like real NFL game, so I'm not gonna knock you too bad for it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be too tough on him. But again, that's against the Giants. And let me bring up the stat line for that game. I want to go ahead and show those stats from the win so we can, look inside the numbers and see how good this game actually was for the Falcons. Let me go back and put myself down here. No, I gotta go to the side because I don't know what this is. Okay, there we go. So this is the statistics from the game. Let's go with the box score right here. As you see, Drew Lock, 22 of 39, 210 yards passing, 1 touchdown. He threw 2 pick sixes. The defense got 3 sacks. Good day at the office on defense. I'm going to go full screen so y'all can see it better. He had a QB rating of 58.7 on the day. Good day by the defense. They did not allow 200 yards passing at all on 39 pass attempts. So that's great by the defense. Michael Penix, 18 of 27, 202. He had that unfortunate pick. Oh, I felt so bad for him. And that wasn't even a pick on his end. It just sucks. I hate that. But again, up with a QB rating of 73.4, but he got the dub. That's all that matters. Let's look at the rushing. By the way, the Falcons have been a lot better in stopping the run over the last couple of weeks. Tyrone Tracy had 7 for 26. He didn't really get going much. Devin Singletary had 4 for 12. That was the other running back. Darius Slayton had a 6-yard run. He had the longest rush of the day for the Giants. And then Drew Lock had 1 run. So they didn't do nothing on that side of the ball as far as the ground. And I love that. Falcons got over 100 yards rushing. Bijan Robinson, as I mentioned to y'all before, 22 of 94, 2 rushing touchdowns. This guy gets better each week. He gets better each week. Last week, he went over the 1,000-yard mark as a rusher for the first time in his career. Currently, he has 1,196 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns. When I tell you that that's what you want from your number 8 pick, he's producing like the number 8 pick. I'm proud of that guy. Proud of the fact the Falcons is getting him involved. He's getting better each week. And he right now is number 4 in the NFL in rushing behind Saquon and Derrick Henry, who is, by the way, blowing the doors off the rushing numbers right now. You got Kyron Williams, who's ahead of him too. But right behind him is Bijan Robinson at 4. He's been outstanding for the Falcons. But I really want us to continue to still get Tyler Algier, get them carries into the game. He still need to be productive. I still want to eventually see the Falcons turn this rushing attack similar to what the Lions do with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. I really wish that the Falcons would find that way to make that happen. But the beauty of it is that Bijan is an all-purpose back. So you have to feed him the ball. You have to give him his touches and all of that good stuff. So the Falcons definitely gonna have to try to tie these guys into that factor as well. But Tyler Algier had 11 for 22 with a long run of 12 yards. Ray McLeod had one. I guess they call it a jet sweep, 8 rush. So it was an 8-yard rush. Michael Penix had one. He took off one time and got like a 5-yard gain when he needed to make it third and manageable. So once he probably get a little more comfortable, we may see him come out in that pocket a little more. But good day at the office overall at that department. For the Giants as wide receivers, Malik Neighbors 7 of 68. Wan'Dale Robinson 7 for 62. Tyrone Tracy had a ridiculous one-hand catch for a touchdown that only scored he made in the game. That play was ridiculous to him, by the way. That was a great play. But Darius Slayton had a 21-yard reception. Jalen Hyatt caught a pass. Daniel Bellinger got a pass, and Eric Gray caught a pass. So they didn't really do much as far as the pass attack. The Falcons, Darnell Mooney, 5 of 82, had 6 targets. Mooney has been solid all season. I think he's getting very close to that. He's going to hit the 1,000 yards. So it'll be the second time in his career that he did it. But again, he's been producing for the Falcons. I love the move that we made to bring him in. I love that. He's, by the way, just to give a heads up, he is now at 955 yards receiving. So he needs 45 yards to get to 1,000, which is outstanding for them. And that's already a solid pickup for the Falcons. Drake London, who also had 5 catches for 59 on 8 targets, he is 22 yards away from, he's already hit his career best. Last year he had 9. I want to say he had 9. Let me make sure. I want to make sure before I continue on Drake London. He's at 978 this year. He finished with 905 last year. So his numbers has gotten better each year, but this has really been the year of Drake London. He has 7 receiving touchdowns. He has 978 on the season and on 83 catches. So he's getting better. I'm proud of what we're seeing from Drake London. So your first round picks is starting to produce. Ray McLeod had 3 of 19. Chris Blair had a 17-yard reception. Algier had that 1 screen for 9 yards. Bijan had a catch for 13 yards, as y'all remember. Kyle freaking Pitts. 1 catch for 7 yards. Just his normal stuff. His normal doing his cardio and don't do anything else on the team. Ready for him to go. You know how I feel about Kyle Pitts. That's all I got to say. Keep moving. They had 18 catches for a team as a total of 202. As far as the fumbles, Arnold Ebiketie recovered a fumble. That was a strip sack by Caden Ellis. Drew Lock had a lost fumble. That was on that strip sack. For the Giants, Darius Masood, the linebacker, led the teams in tackles with 11. Jason Pinnock actually got hurt. He had hurt his eye in the game on that 1 run by Bijan. He had 5 solo tackles, 8 total. Ty Summers had 7. Drew Phillips had 6. They didn't really do anything. They didn't get no sacks. So there's no really numbers of significance for the Giants. For the Falcons, Caden Ellis, 7 tackles total, 2 solo, a strip sack, 2 QB hits. This man is better as a pass rushing specialist. I love the fact that Jimmy Lake is starting to use him as a pass rusher because that's what he needs to be. Mike Hughes, 6 tackles, 2 solo tackles. Ebiketie, 2 solo tackles. He had a tackle for a loss and a sack on the day. Ebiketie continues to get better each week for the Falcons, and I'm loving the fact that they're starting to use him. I've always saw his potential, but he's really starting to get more and more into the defense. He has 5 sacks on the year at this point, and that all have come in this month of December. So the kid's starting to come on, and I really hope that they really find a way to keep implementing him in that scheme going forward. He had 6 sacks last year. He's a sack away from reaching that total. I think he's going to reach that total without question. I really do. And that's a great thing for your second round pick from a couple of years ago. D. Alford had 4 tackles, 3 solo. He had a good day. Bertrand had 4. Nate Lamont had 4. Simmons had 3. Anyamata had 3. AJ Terrell had 3. Kentavious had 2. Jesse freaking Bates. He dropped the pick, but then got an interception back and got a touchdown out of it. Got a pick 6. So I don't know. Him and Judah might be neck and neck for defensive player of the week, to be brutally honest with you. Grady Jarrett got 2. Zach Harrison got 2 tackles. He got that knock up in the air to turn it to the Matthew Judon pick 6. Judon finally records a sack for the Falcons. And he got his first NFL touchdown. And, of course, everybody else, you see the 1 tackles each. As far as interceptions, Cordell Flott, that was the tip pick from Kyle Pitts. with the one for him, the one for Jesse Bates. Matthew Judon had an interception both of them was a pick six, so not too much at the office. Riley Patterson missed a field goal the first drive of the game. Bradley Pinion didn't have to front much, but Jamie Gillian did for the for the Giants. So pretty easy day, pretty simple day at the office. Let me go to the clock. Let's go to the clock of the team stats. So those are first down totals. Falcons had the ball more than the Giants, 300 total yards of offense. They outgained them as far as passing, definitely outgained them as far as rushing. This was a clean game, too, penalty-wise for the Falcons. They only had 3 to the Giants 10, 1 turnover to the Giants 3. You had a total possession of 34 minutes and 28 seconds to the Giants 25-32. And you had a crowd of 70,000. So good crowd for that ball game. Good game for the Falcons. But let's go back to the screen. And as we said, good win for the Falcons. But as I mentioned, there was a lot that took place last night. The Falcons are now back in first place of the NFC South. The Cowboys got eliminated. The Commanders had a great win against the Eagles yesterday afternoon. But the Cowboys still playing for something defeated the Buccaneers last night. So as of this morning, as of this team, as of what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks, the Atlanta Falcons are now back in control of their destiny to make the playoffs. That's the reality of the situation for the Falcons. I know it's been a crazy year for the NFC South. The NFC South been up in the air, but the Falcons are now up in the air. It's a race again. So if the playoffs started today, the Falcons would win the division because of the sweep against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if you want to see the breakdown of what the breakdown would be for the NFC playoff picture, this is what it will be. Let me just bring this up on the screen so I can show you guys where is it currently sitting at. Of course, we got a Monday night game tonight against with the Packers and the Saints tonight. But as of today, as you see, the Atlanta Falcons currently sit at the 4th seed. They would host the Minnesota Vikings if they win out. The Falcons still have to handle their business. But the reality is, you now set yourself up with an opportunity to win the division. It is up to them to win the division now. But that's your window to make the playoffs. Because with the Commanders winning last night, I don't see a window for the wild card. It's not over, but the Falcons control their destiny in that scenario. So the reality is, if the Falcons can split or win both games, and the Bucks have to win the last 2 games. If they drop 1 game, it's over. The Falcons win the division. So that's the state of the situation for the Falcons and the Buccaneers as far as this division. The Bucks had a chance to put this division away. They got the Saints and the Panthers, who's been playing better football coming in the last 2 weeks. You've now put yourself in a rough spot to where if you drop another game and the Falcons just straight up have to win 1 more, this is over. 9-8 could get the Falcons in the playoffs if the Bucks drop another game. But the Falcons don't need to be thinking along the terms of a loss. Win your games. Don't wait on nobody else to help you. You got fortunate to get back in this spot. Win your games. Win your games. That's all you got to do at this point. Again, we'll see what happens over the last 2 weeks, but we could be getting a Falcon home playoff game for the first time in the Benz. We'll see. But again, I think that the momentum of this team has really changed. And again, we'll see what happens going forward. But we got a big contest on Sunday Night Football against the Washington Commanders, who are now 10-5. Jaden Daniels been balling. He's my pick for Rookie of the Year. He got that Commanders team on the verge of going to the playoffs. I think they might be in the playoffs at the rate that it's going. But the Falcons, if they can win against Washington. You come back home against Carolina, knowing that you're one win away from clinching a spot to the postseason. Let nobody tell you that first of all, let me just be brutally honest. And I know, and I know he's going to watch this later, and I'm going to call it out. So one of my followers is a Buccaneers fan. I seen a comment of, you don't want to make the playoffs to go one and done. The Falcons have not been to the postseason since 2017. This organization wants to make the playoffs. They want to win the division. I've said it from the start, way back on my stream in August. The reality for the Falcons was to win 10 games. You have an opportunity to do it. You have an opportunity to make the playoffs if you win out. That's all you have to do at this point. That's a step in the right direction. Minnesota will be a tough matchup for the Falcons. We've seen them already. But if you can find a way to win this division, whatever happens in the playoffs, that's one step ahead. That's the step that you want to show your fan base. Listen, we know what we did. We know the position we put ourselves in. We lost those 4 games. We figured it out. We run off these last 3 and gonna make the playoffs. Let's see, can you do it? But if you do it, that's a step in the right direction. Already one thing has been in the right direction. You've won more games over this season than you've won since 2017. Even if you don't win the Washington game, you have to finish with a winning record. That's the reality of the situation. I don't want to put too much stock in the division just yet. Let's see what happens against the Commanders. And then you start thinking about that Panther game in Atlanta next week, which I'm probably, depending on next week, don't be surprised that's a 4:00 game on January the 5th. Just keep that in mind as I discuss this. So we'll see what the NFL decide this week. They'll probably drop the schedule this week. So we'll see what happens. But again, good win for the Falcons. This is a big game. And by the way, I will be back on some time this week. For you all in with Nate, people that's been watching for the last 4 seasons, you probably remember I used to do some shows with my guy by the name of Devon Brown. He's a Commanders fan. He will be on the next. He'll be either doing a preview or a post-game stream together. He will be on here. That's something that I always love to do, is to get a chance to have an opposing person speak with me about our matchup. It's going to be a fun one. He's a smart kid, good guy, solid dude, big-time Commanders fan. That's a good ball club. We got our hands full next week. But until then, enjoy this day, enjoy this victory, enjoy the holidays. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Wednesday is Christmas. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your day off if you got the day off. If you don't, just make some time for yourself. But from All In with Nate, this is Nate signing off. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everyone that tunes into this show, and enjoy the rest of your Monday. Rise up.